This is Hannibal from SWE Fury, as well as thehannibaltv.com, and this is the Inside SWE Fury Podcast. And joining me right now is James Beard, SWE Fury matchmaker. He might just be joining us by voice, though.
Oh, what happened here?
I think you got to click video. I think you just click. Oh, there you are.
There I go.
And the SWE Women's Champion is going to be joining us in about 10 or 15 minutes as well, Christi Jaynes. What a weekend that was in Carthage.
Yeah, it was quite a time for us. I tell you, it was very, I guess, satisfying to see the turnout that we had, and the matches were great, and things went fairly smoothly. You know, it's always a trick to get through a deal like that, but I thought things went very well, and I was very pleased.
Christi Jaynes actually won all three of her matches, which was pretty impressive to say the least. What did you think about that?
Well, you know, I was kind of surprised she even wanted to get involved that much, but that's a lot of workload for one night for a gal like that. But you know, she's a tough one. She likes to fight, and there she goes. You know, she came out of it in good shape and still holding that title.
Yeah, she took on, I believe, Rosemary Miranda Gordy, and I didn't see the third match. I forget who the third match was against. I know Miranda also fought Amber Nova. I did watch that match, and it looked like Miranda broke Amber in half at the end. But
yeah, I tell you.
Amber
Yeah, she got a little rough with her there. I tell you, Miranda's got a little different attitude, I think, now, too. I think attitude is starting to show up on a lot of people in SWE Fury for some reason.
Oh, Jefferson, one of the fans, has informed us that it was Malaya Hosaka who was the third opponent for Christi Jaynes. That's the one I missed.
That's true, and that kind of turned into a bit of a free for all at the end. Also, I think Rosemary got involved in that, and you know, that might lead to something with her and Malaya. I think Malaya's not very happy about that situation.
Johnny mentions that he watched the live feed of the show from the UK. He stayed up and watched it, so it was pretty late there, and he suffered from lack of sleep the next day. Maybe we want to address this. There was an issue. I believe it had to do with the Wi-Fi, because Carthage is way out in the middle of nowhere, so there was an issue with the pay-per-view feed. So you guys ended up putting it out for free for everybody.
Yeah, I think they're whoever actually paid for it. I think they have made the announcement that they're going to refund all of that. I assume that most people got to see it anyway, but as it turns out, there were some problems, at least at the beginning of it, I think, and we got it straightened out. But I think there's going to be a refund coming in, and I don't feel sorry for Johnny at all over there. I was dead tired the next day myself, so we were all feeling it.
Yeah, and I understand you're going to try the pay-per-view again in Canton, and Canton's not too far from Dallas. It's closer to civilization, so there's less of a chance of technical issues there.
Yeah, we're hoping that, you know, it's just like anything else. When you try something new, you're going to have some glitches and some learning curves and that sort of thing, and we're working on those things and trying to get those all straightened out, and hopefully that'll be something that we'll be able to do in the future, maybe on all of our TVs. I don't know, but I think it's kind of exciting to be able to present those as a live pay-per-view type thing, and you know, it's just a matter of getting all the little kinks worked out, I think.
Yeah, it's just going to take a matter of time. That was a test, but it was nice that there was some immediate fan feedback from the event. Normally, you have to wait a few weeks for the matches to air on the television show, which, by the way, those pay-per-view matches are still going to air on the television show,
right.
Edited versions, higher quality. But it was nice that fans had made like little videos and pictures that night as the show was happening.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and you know, from what I saw, it looks like the the majority of the feedback was really positive, and I think the fans enjoyed having that experience and being able to see that live. So I'm excited about all these things coming forward for us, with that and the Alp and all of that coming up, and we're working on trying to improve. And I think it's going to be a fan-friendly type situation for us for SWE Fury and a way for us to grow.
There's a fan on here, Barbara Ridge, that says she loves you and misses you. Her dearest friend, James Beard.
Yeah, I've known Barbara since she was a little girl, actually. Yeah, she was a Dallas girl.
So all the titles were retained in Carthage. Were you surprised at that? Everyone held on to it. Same SWE Fury champion Charlie Haas, Christi Jaynes, as we mentioned, and Roddy Mack retained the SWE television title.
They did, and I know I'm not. So I can't say that I'm so surprised about that. The tag belts were also awarded that night, won that night. The young team, a couple of guys who actually came up through our training camps and attended those for a while, and then got a few matches on TV, and they came out and told Teddy Long that they were ready for something bigger and better, and they proved that they were. They ended up winning the tag titles, so we'll see what happens from that. Obviously, Crimson and Jax were not at this event, so. My understanding is they are going to be in Canton, so they may have something to say about how long those guys hang on to it. Look at that girl.
And the SWE Fury Women's Champion has joined us. None other than Christi Jaynes with that title.
Of course. I don't leave it anywhere. I have to protect it. There are so many people lining up to take this thing. I'm afraid to even leave it in my bedroom.
Well, you weren't afraid to put it up the other night. We were fighting everybody, it looks like.
Hey, I promised everyone that I would give them a champion that wouldn't back down from anything, and I don't. So
that's pretty obvious, and that's the kind of champion we want to have on SWE Fury. So I'm proud of you. That's a fighting champion.
Thank you so much. I am actually at training right now because I always have to work on my craft, get better. Like I said, there are women lining up to take the belt, so I always have to stay on my toes.
Well, what about that situation with Miranda? That got a little out of hand there, didn't it?
Dude, she hit me with a plaque.
I think she did, yes.
Y'all, it hurt so bad. I think I thought I was going to Disneyland for a minute there. I don't know. Look, there is just something to be said about, these legends that have kids, and their kids come into wrestling thinking that they're owed something. And Miranda has proven time and time again, just like she did last time at SWE, that she feels like she's entitled to holding a belt, but that's not how it works. You have to work hard for it. And I guess, she doesn't understand what playing by the rules are.
Well, the funny, I say funny, one really very, very funny. She actually hit you with a plaque that we gave her in honor of her father.
That's what I thought too, but she thought that the plaque was for her because of a legacy she built. I was quite confused by that. So, her dad's awesome, amazing wrestler. But, I think it's time that Miranda learned that she's got to build her own path, and she's going to have to pay her own dues in this business.
It sounds like you're not quite done with that yet.
No, it was super unfair. I need a match with Miranda in a cage. Maybe a no DQ match, anything goes, because I feel like this girl isn't going to play by the rules no matter how many rules we put out to her. And I just need to beat her once and for all.
Well, we may have to see what we can do about that. I understand that you have, don't you have some martial arts training? Is that correct?
I have gymnastics, and I did take like karate a little bit when I was younger, but I was the only girl on a high school football team. I used to drive a race car. Like, I'm pretty badass. I was the only girl on the hockey team. Like, you know, I do hardcore. What?
And you're a pretty good dancer.
I am a pretty good. I think it's because I'm Brazilian, though. Also, I am like the only woman ever to win a men's hardcore title, like ever. So,
well, maybe that's the kind of thing we need to do. We need to get you guys together. Yeah.
Miranda doesn't seem. She absolutely does scare me.
I don't know what that was.
You faded out for a second, Christi.
Oh.
She faded out. I understand, though. She was actually dancing on the bus on the way down.
I can only hear you, James. Is Hannibal gone? Did he leave? He's like, this is getting too much for me.
He's talking to you now.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Now. I can hear you now.
I was going to mention, I guess you did some dancing on the weekend, too, on the way down to Carthage.
Oh, my gosh. You guys, I did nothing. Look, we had a 3-hour drive to Carthage. So they flew us into Dallas, picked us up in this amazing, amazing bus. It was like the best bus ever. Nothing. And I kind of think, I'm not going to sit here 3 hours with people at their phone. So we put on some music. We started the party lights, even did the strobe lights. I told them, I'm like, look, if y'all may have a seizure, just like go to bed or something. But the strobe lights were on. And, even Teddy Long got in on the party. He loved it. And the ride went by like that. It was really, really fast, but definitely I feel like the party bus should have stayed all weekend. It would have been great. It would have been a great time.
I'm really disappointed I missed that. That's the most disappointing thing to me on the weekend.
Yeah.
And it was late. The bus was late. I was supposed to do interviews on the bus, but I don't know. People were enjoying your dancing too much. I guess they took the long route.
I wasn't the only one dancing, okay? Teddy was dancing. Ricky was dancing. Amber was dancing. Even Rosemary was dancing. Like, everyone was dancing on that bus, okay? And then the guy in front, he tried to change the music, and it was terrible. The music was terrible. So I was like, no, go back to 90s. So let's take it back to the 90s. Good day, sir. But no, we had a lot of fun. We always have a lot of fun at SWE. Like, always.
Hello, well, you are the champion. That's easy for you to say. You are the champion. But Guerrilla Press wants to know how your trip to Brazil was, and are you looking forward to Canton?
My trip to Brazil was amazing. And I am looking forward to Canton. I'm actually looking forward to potentially face some new women in Canton. But as always, I will face whoever management thinks I should face, and I'm not going to back down from any fight. So just don't give Miranda any more plaques, please. Yeah, no, sir, no more. I'm glad it wasn't a trophy, like an actual trophy. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh. Yeah, no.
Now,
let's
Lacey,
just stop handing out plaques. Can we do that? Can we just stop handing out plaques? And if we do hand them out, make sure they're made out of plywood, okay?
Okay, something soft, yeah.
Yeah, something soft.
Okay.
I did interview Lacey on the weekend, and she pointed out that your title was as good as hers. You weren't at the autograph table, but she pointed right to it, and she said, that title's mine. May as well be mine now.
Sounds like another challenge.
Lacey met me. Yeah, but this was before Lacey met me. And then after she met me, she was like, no, I'm just going to be your friend. I don't want your title. It's okay. She saw how mean I was and how vicious I was in the ring. She was like, put the claws away. Let's back down. But, you know, hey, if Lacey wants to come for it, sure. Why not?
Jazz is watching you right now. She's saying
Hi,
hello.
Jazz. How are you?
She must be proud of you. 3 title defenses in one night. I have to say that's amazing. I didn't think you could do it, but you've proved me wrong.
So. I hope she's proud of me. I mean, I love, like, Jazz is amazing. She is an amazing trainer at the Dog Pound. You know, the girls that learn from her, they are getting so much vital knowledge, but they're learning how to wrestle correctly, right? Gosh, I remember my very first match with Jazz. I was brand new in this business, and I tell the story all the time, and Jazz is going to be like, oh God, Christy, shut up. But every time, man, I love it. So when Jazz retired, she was like, I'm done wrestling. And then the NWA called her, and they were like, hey, we want you to come and be in this 3-way. And she was like, okay, yeah, cool, right? It was me, Jazz, and Amber O'Neal. Jazz won the NWA title her very first match back from retirement. And I got to be in that match. And then I got a one-on-one with Jazz on her very first singles match back. I was so excited. I was so happy. I mean, she beat my ass, but you know, I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh. And I thought I knew what I was doing. I had no idea. So I'm really happy that SWE has a leader, you know, for the women like Jazz. She's amazing.
Yes, she is. I've known Jazz since she started. I remember when Jazz's first run with the NWA title several years ago, and when I was involved in NWA myself, and we had Jazz in New York against Thunder Rosa, and Thunder she was still pretty young in the business too, and after that match, Rosa walks out of the ring and she goes, I've never been in anything like that before in my life.
Oh yeah. Jazz is ferocious. She's like, you're defending your title. You got to get in there and you got to do whatever it takes. I'm like, okay. She's on whatever it takes. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, she's intense. Jazz is extremely intense in the ring.
It runs in the family.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Rodney is intense too. Those two are amazing.
I have never had to be in a ring with Rodney, but I can imagine. I can only imagine. Yeah, I feel scared for the men that have to face him. Yeah, Jazz is a legend. All these people are writing, oh my gosh, Jazz is amazing. Like, Jazz is a legend. Yeah, she's a legend. She's scary as fuck. Don't piss her off. Excuse my language. I'm so sorry, you guys.
That's okay. That's good and very good advice.
Right? She keeps everyone in line, like in the back room. Like, you know, there's never any drama because Jazz doesn't have to say much. She just turns and looks at you and everyone's like, stay in your place. Stay in your lane, everyone.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of leadership we want to have there at SWE, and I'm so proud to have Jazz involved with us here. She's like I've said this many times, she and Rodney are like family to me, and I couldn't be more blessed to have them around. I tell you.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I'm very blessed to know Jazz and Rodney and like their whole family. Like they are definitely inspirational, amazing. She gives me some of the best advice I've ever had. So Yeah.
Is there a lady wrestler out there you'd like to get a usually they're kind of coming at the champion, but just from your perspective, is there a lady wrestler out there you'd kind of like to get in the ring with that you haven't yet?
That I haven't ever?
Yeah.
Well, she's signed now, but Taya Valkyrie was one. So, but she's signed now. So now I can't wrestle her. I've wrestled a lot of girls, and I don't think people realize that, but I have. I have wrestled a lot of girls. Let's see. So definitely need to get. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Who haven't I wrestled yet? I've wrestled like just about everyone. Like who haven't? But you know what? There's so many like new talent coming out, right? So I will wrestle all the new girls on the indie scene right now, like not a problem. But there's so many new people coming up that yeah, absolutely. Let me wrestle them.
What about Selena De La Renta? I understand Selena is not just going to be a manager in SWE Fury for too long. I understand she might actually be stepping in the ring in the coming months.
Well, if Selena steps into that ring, she is going to regret it, and she's going to go right back to managing with her tail between her legs. So I love Selena, but she needs to stay in her lane, as Jazz would say.
Wow.
Dark Angel. That. Yes, Jason. Yes, because I was having a conversation with somebody and I was like, oh my gosh, I'd love to get in the ring with Sarah. And they were like, who? And I'm like, Dark Angel, man. She's badass. She was like WWE trainer. Like she did just have surgery. She doesn't work for the WWE anymore. I am absolutely, Jazz. I have you in my corner. I am ready to face Rosemary. Not a problem. I've taken on an undead bride. How hard can a demon be? Like, really?
She is an odd one, I tell you. You got a really unusual, unorthodox method, I think, in the ring. That doesn't throw you off, huh?
No, not at all. Carl Lane, yes, I did have a WWE tryout. I had one in 2018 in December. So, yeah. Sorry, he asked a question. I answered it. I just answered it.
Well, I think your competition in SWE is actually better than what you'd be getting in WWE. They have a couple good girls, but they're bringing in girls from all over the place to take you on. So you're making a real name for yourself.
Yeah, I feel really privileged to work with SWE because first off, the locker room's amazing. There are so many great minds there and eclectic minds, right? Everyone brings something a little bit different to SWE. So I can get so much knowledge and input on anything I want to do or I have done. And the girls at SWE are great. And I can't wait till SWE strikes up a deal with Dark Angel and brings her in. And that would be amazing.
We'll have to look into that.
That would be amazing.
We'll have to check. We'll have to check that out. I saw someone ask about La Rosa Negra, the Mission Pro champion. She defended her title at SWE Fury this last week too. So, have you been in the ring with La Rosa?
I have actually. Her and I were in Japan at Stardom together at the same time, and we had a tag match against one another. So yeah, I have gone up against La Rosa Negra, and she's very intense and a very, very good wrestler. But again, I am the SWE Women's Champion, and I don't care how good of a wrestler you are. I am going to make sure I am better. Like, I don't just train in the ring, I watch wrestling. So if I know I may potentially have you as an opponent, I'm going to go watch all of your tape. And for people that don't know what tape is, it's like, YouTube videos, like old WWE or WCW or like Stardom or New Japan or whatever promotion you've been on. I'm going to go watch that, and I'm going to watch how you move. I'm going to study you in and out. So when I get in that ring with you, I'm going to be 100% prepared and ready for anything you can give me.
So you actually do a lot of scouting and that sort of thing when you preparation for an opponent.
Yes, I do. And then I have to do like that mental, like meditation thing too, where I'm like, calm down, get one with yourself. Because it's a mental game too. Wrestling isn't just a physical game, because if you can't keep yourself together mentally, you'll break in there.
100%. That's true. Yes.
So who's training you right now, and where are you? Are you in Colorado training up there?
No, I'm actually in Utah right now. So a bunch of wrestlers here got together and they were kind of like, they need a safe zone to go, a safe place to go, right? So then I was just like, well, you have a ring, let's go find a gym. And then a friend of mine, she is an MMA fighter. She was, I think guys know her, Christi Cyborg. She told me that there is a Bellator gym in Utah and Roy, and it's called Power Promotions. And so they have a huge empty space. So we set up a wrestling ring here. And so I don't just train. Going back to your original question of, don't you do some type of martial arts training? Yes and no. So we set up the ring here for all of us wrestlers to get together. So like Sledge 805, he signed with ROH, right? He comes up here. Marty the Moth is here in Utah. You know, a lot of big names in wrestling live around Utah, and they'll just come in and we'll all train here. And then I will stay and I'll train with some of these men and women that do participate in the Bellator MMA thing. So UFC, like, I'll train with them too.
Very good.
There
So
you go.
is that grappling and stand up, or more grappling?
It's both. It's both. So I do like most of it, it's grappling, right? But there's a lot of like boxing with it. It's kind of a mixed bag. It's very much using, because I am small compared to some people, it's using their momentum against somebody. Because I don't really want to hurt somebody. I'm not a lady, I'm a brave person. I don't want to put you in a hospital. But if you come from me, well, no people out there. But so a lot of movements that I learn with is mostly throws, like to stop somebody in their path. I also do gymnastics twice a week. I can stay up with my lucha. I like.
You see funny looks on our faces. It's because of there's some kind of noise there that makes you sound like Donald Duck or something.
Oh, there she disappeared. Maybe she's gonna come in and out.
And
maybe.
And then half the gym. So I'm sorry, you guys. Like I said, I'm at training right now. So training goes on for like 3 to 4 hours. So my days are full always. I'm always trying to get better. That's what we do, right?
Where can the fans follow you? I know you've got Instagram where you posted, I think, one of your pole dancing videos, right? Or was it someone else that posted that? And I know you're on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Yeah, so it's really easy. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Now we can.
Okay,
yeah.
So sorry, there's probably a lag in this. It's really easy. It's price and it on all platforms, and Instagram, Facebook, on YouTube, and I'm on so
Oh God, we
pony
can't
called
hear
Games
you.
with
I'm so
James.
sorry. So sorry.
You can't hear me?
Now
No.
we can, but
Yeah, now we get
Oh my
there's some
God!
kind of you sound like Donald Duck.
Oh my God. That's the best. I love
do
this.
you want to try
I love
again
it.
because we completely
Okay.
missed it all?
Okay.
Yeah, say it. Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, so just spell my name, Christi, Christi Jaynes, and just put that in on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Cool.
That's it.
Cool.
Super simple.
What do you have on YouTube?
I have a bunch of workout videos on YouTube. And then I think some of my wrestling, like people just get together and they'll clip stuff together and they'll pop it up there. I have like my AEW matches on there. What else do I have? Oh, my Impact matches on there too. My AAA, CMLL, like Stardom. Some of my Stardom matches are up there now. My PCW from England is up there. I've traveled everywhere, so there's like matches of me that people put up randomly up there. So, and also if people follow SWE YouTube page, they have stuff up there too. So
You mentioned Japan. How long did you work over there, or is it just something that you've gone back and forth some, or?
no, I went out there for 3 months. So I lived out there for 3 months. Yeah. So
Cool.
it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. I love their food out there and I love wrestling out there. So
Good. Well, you've actually been with SWE since the beginning, and I think you were at the first. Weren't you at the first one? I believe.
was I?
Or pretty near. Well,
No,
anyway.
Miranda was. I think Miranda was.
Okay.
Because Miranda was your champion. And then I took the belt from Miranda.
Okay. Yeah. But
So,
you've been a big part of the growth of the company though in the last several months, and it's been kind of phenomenal, really, how fast it's all kind of come together and grown.
oh my gosh, so fast.
Yeah, and you got to take a little pride in the fact that you have something to do with that.
I'm actually I'm very humble though. I'm always like, I didn't do anything. You know me. I'm like, what did I do, James? You're like, you did a lot. I'm like, no, I didn't do anything. But like I'm excited and happy that I get to be part of SWE and I get to watch it grow, and I can't wait to watch it just unfold even more as SWE gets bigger and bigger, gets on more different networks, on more channels, gets out of Texas to different states, even different countries. Like, I am really happy that I get to be part of it and I get to see, the new talent that come in there. And yeah, I'm really excited. SWE definitely has a huge future ahead of them. Like, the writers there are they make it make sense. I don't want to put any company down, but let me just say it actually, the storylines make sense, and everyone there is just, I feel like the core people of SWE are there because they have this huge love and passion for wrestling. And it's amazing. I love that. I love that about it. And I'm really happy and fortunate that I get to be a part of it.
We have some. You talked about getting out of Texas, but we actually have some good news in Texas today. The governor has announced.
I know. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, next Wednesday, all bets are off, man. Because the masks come off and the businesses open 100%. So maybe things will start breaking open here.
Do you know what we need? Just so you know, let's get the party bus for after the tapings. Our tapings are long. Let's get the party bus for after the tapings, not the night before.
I don't know if my old heart can take that.
Man, let me tell you, you guys sit there and you're like, oh yeah, I heard you were dancing like on the party bus and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, like I still showed up before anyone else that was supposed to be there, right? I showed up super early in the morning and I performed. I did my job. If you want to go out the night before and party, you better make sure you're there at call time. And call time was 11:30. Yeah, I still remember it was 11:30 and I showed up at 10:45. Thank you. That's all I gotta say.
And you went out again after the show, which was
yes, impressive. You did. Yes, you did. But I had to be there for the training camp, so I was even there earlier than that.
You were. No, yeah. I give it up to you, but I don't think you went. You were on the party bus that night.
No, I don't know if I'd have made the training camp if I'd been on the party bus.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Whew. I'm still looking for a video though.
No, there is no proof. Therefore, it never happened. I'm like still licking my wounds. I got home because I had to go do another show after that. I got home yesterday at 4, and then I went to bed at like 8:30, and I didn't wake up until 11. I'm supposed to start my Twitch stream this morning. And I'm like, sorry, you guys, I'm starting at 12:30. I went and got myself coffee, came back, and then like, damn, I gotta work out. Like, oh my gosh. Like I slept so much. I'm still licking my wounds from it. And now I'm here at training because I'm trying to get better.
I'm trying to catch up myself. That was a long weekend, but it was worth it.
Right. They're always long weekends, but they're good weekends and they're fun. And it's a lot of work goes into it, but there's a lot that comes out of it.
Are you going to have another 3 matches in Canton, or are you going to try and take it a bit easier?
If Teddy wants me to have 3 matches, I will have 3 matches. If management wants me to have 5 matches, guess what? Christi Jaynes going back, but I'm going to have those for 5 matches. I'm going to do it because I'm the one champion, and I plan on keeping my belt for a very long time.
I gotta ask you, I know Miranda had a tryout for WWE last week. It was reported by many news sites. Do you think they're going to pick her up? Obviously, she's a great talent, has the name, and she's better than a lot of the girls they have. What's your prediction there, as sad as they'll be to lose her?
I hope she does get picked up, but WWE is very interesting, and I don't know how signing a person works. So asking me that is like, I have no idea. They're so unpredictable. Like, they've had some of the best people go in for their tryout, and they never sign them. And then it's always like, what the hell were you thinking? Like, what is wrong with you? And then they'll sign them like 5 years later. So that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, yes, and I hope she does get signed, but at the same time, actually, you know what? Hell yeah, I hope she gets signed, because I hope all those people at WWE will teach her that she is more than just a Gordy, that she has to build her own damn legacy, and she can't run around hitting people with plaques in the head, because that is illegal, okay? You have to pin them or tap them out. That's how you win. So yeah, there you go.
I think maybe we're gonna have to get this settled. Yeah,
I'm a little bitter. I'm a little. It was a solid wood plaque, James.
Yeah. I think you need that cage match for Canton. I think there needs to be a cage match and have you guys
solid wood. Who writes this stuff?
Well, you know, we may have to have a cage just to keep Max Castellanos and Mantell in a ring. So maybe we can just do it all in one night sometime.
All of it. Yeah. Just knock it all out.
Just throw everybody in a cage and just let it go.
Exactly. Exactly. I absolutely agree with you guys. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Blood Hunter and Harry Smith in a cage would be pretty impressive too.
That would be another. Well, there wouldn't be much left of the cage if we put all that in there. I can tell you that, because that was, boy, that was another brutal match last week.
Wow.
I'm telling you. And Blood Hunter had another one with Michael Schaefer. It was wow.
And Harry's coming back to Canton. I'll just put up.
That's true. Yes. Yeah.
Sorry to block up Christi. I know Christi's actually got to get back to her training because she had a little bit of limited time because she's very busy. And as a champion, you can't back off on your training at all because you have all these contenders. Is there anything you want to touch on before you have to go back in there and do some more fighting?
Just that I want to thank everyone that supports SWE Fury, supports all the wrestlers, especially like during COVID and stuff. Thank you guys for coming out, for wearing your mask, for socially distancing. And now with Texas opening up, I hope we get even a bigger turnout than what we have been getting, because we've been getting some pretty great turnouts for the situation that the entire world is in. So thank you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you guys in Canton on March 20th.
Looking forward to it. We'll make sure that you have plenty to do that night, Trudy.
Oh gosh, thank you. Bye,
nice
y'all.
With the belt. Bye. I'll see you in Canton, Christi.
I'll see you both in Canton.
Night, Christi.
And let's put up this picture here from Carthage. That was the crowd that was on hand in Carthage. Was there over 1,000 fans there, James?
I don't know what the count was. There were a lot of people there. I know that. Of course, you get those long nights sometimes, and it kind of dwindles a little bit at the end. But that's what we have to do right now to get content. We kind of feel bad about that, but that's just the way the business is right now and the way the world is right now. But hopefully, with this opening up a little bit, and we can start drawing bigger crowds and in more places, and maybe even have more have more often tapings more often, so that there won't be such quite as long nights. And we're looking forward to that. It's a growing process, and I've got to hand it to the guys that manage all that. Tom Lance and Jason Jarrett and Randy Klein and Kevin Willard and all those guys that are behind the scenes that nobody gets to see, or unless you're there, and they've done such a great job of keeping us going and moving forward and growing, and it's been an amazing experience over the last almost 2 years now, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do when all the ropes are off, when they take the handcuffs off of us, and we can really get after it. So it should be. I'm looking forward to a good year, the good rest of the year anyway.
Do you see tapings happening every 2 weeks in the future as things get back to normal?
That's what we would like to get to. I would like to get to where we're doing 2 tapings a month, and at least at some point, hopefully before the year's over with, we can get to that point. I would love to see that, because it makes things so much easier to plan for, and like I said, the nights aren't quite as long for the fans, and you can keep a little bit more intensity for that shorter period of time. So and we've done a good job of it with what we've done, and I'm proud of that. But it would be a much better situation if we can get down to where we're doing that twice a month, and I know that managing the talent and keeping the talent busy and writing the TVs would be a lot better that way too. It's what we really need to be doing if we can do that.
Yeah. And speaking of happenings in SWE, you put out this belts picture last week. This is going to be the Texas Heavyweight Championship. Kevin Sullivan and Teddy Long were also talking about it. That's going to be decided in Texas, apparently.
It is. It is. I think we're going to call it the Lone Star championship for now. I'm not that tentative. It may not be. It may end up being Texas, but it's all the same thing. Everybody knows what the Lone Star is. So yes, we're planning on moving toward that in Canton, and hopefully we can come out of Canton with a Lone Star, SWE Lone Star champion, and we'll see who gets involved in that. I can think of a few names that might be worthy of at least getting a shot at it, and I'm looking forward to that part, because I think carrying that belt would be something of pride for anyone.
Yeah, there hasn't been a real Texas champion for a long time that everyone knows, like back in the world class days. So with the TV reach of SWE Fury, it would be very cool to see a legitimate Lone Star state champion. I think the fans
Yes.
are really going to like that. Any update on, is it going to be a tournament? Is it going to be a battle royal? I know there's been lots of things talked about.
There's been a couple of ideas passed out there. One of them that kind of intrigues me a little bit is having two battle royals, maybe one to decide one competitor and another to decide another. That would be one way to do it. Or we may, like we did the original heavyweight belt, the SWE championship. We ended up choosing two guys we thought were probably worthy of fighting for that title, that being Rodney Mack and Tim Storm, and we just had that one single match. Or we, like the tag deal, we had a preliminary match and then had the finals. So we'll see. I don't know. So the idea of the battle royal thing kind of intrigues me a little bit. I've never been a big fan of battle royals, but if you use it for a purpose like that, then I might have a different way of looking at it.
I heard some rumblings today that WWE legend Gangrel might even be involved in that hunt for the Lone Star title. I don't know if you heard anything of that, but I heard from some of the powers that be that there is some communication with him, and he's interested in throwing his name into the hat to possibly try and win that belt.
I haven't heard anything definitive about that. Generally, when someone gets really serious, I usually know about it. But hopefully, we're getting a lot of inquiries. I get, my goodness, I don't know how many people contact me every day about wanting to come into SWE, and I try to let them know that there's only so much room. You can't get everybody in there. It's hard enough to fit the guys we have in there now, and it's becoming a very competitive situation to be a part of SWE, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, we want to keep the doors open, and we want to give everybody who's legitimate a chance to participate and compete in our company. And guys like that who got a reputation and people know, and he's got a background of winning, then yeah, we want to see them come in and try to match up with our guys, with the Blood Hunters and the Rodney Macks, and the Max Castellanos and the Moonshine Mantels, and the guys like that, Niles Plonk. We've got a roster of guys that'll get in there and fight with you. So I'm looking for other people that are willing to jump in there and see what they got, and if you've got some success in other places and you want to come into SWE, then we're willing to talk to you for sure.
Yeah, and let's talk about some of the people that are confirmed. As we mentioned earlier, Davey Boy Smith Jr.,
yes,
who had a good showing against the Blood Hunter. Melina stuck her nose in that match a little bit, but the Blood Hunter.
That was a little bit of a surprise. I had no idea that, and I still don't know whether Melina and Blood Hunter have some kind of relationship. I mean, he's got Selena with him. That might create an issue there in itself. I don't know. That was kind of a shock. I don't know what she's thinking right now. But I guess we'll find out, because I understand she's planning on being back.
Yeah, I understand that Selena is definitely going to be back from what I heard from the
Yes.
powers that be that I was talking to earlier today. And Melina is going to be back. Let's put up this poster. Here's 6 confirmed wrestlers. We already know Christi Jaynes, Charlie Haas, Rodney Mack, Mark Henry, Teddy Long, and Melina. They're all going to be there
Yes.
March 20th.
Yes, and yeah, and I also know that, I'm thinking a little bit further ahead. I know in April the 24th, we're going to be back in Irving and I know that Mills Mertes will be back with us at that time. So we've got, he was pretty impressive too, and he's a guy that's contacted us after he left, and he loved his experience with SWE, and he wants to come back as much as he can, and we want him back because he's a heck of a talent and a competitor. So the Hispanic fans may have somebody to cheer for there.
Yeah, I actually saw his match, and back around 10 or 15 years ago, I actually wrestled Mil Mortes in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
It's nice to see him still in top shape and still going at it hard. He was really impressed. I know Kevin Sullivan in particular was really impressed with Mil Mortes' performance.
Yes. He's just a great talent, and he's a veteran. He can work just about any kind of style. He can do some lucha stuff, but he's also very good at traditional wrestling, and I've known him a long time as well. He's a heck of a talent, and we're proud to have him in SWE Fury.
Is there any other wrestlers that you know of for upcoming Canton and Irving events that maybe the posters haven't been made yet, but they're going to be there?
Well, I mean, some of the talent that hasn't been around in the last couple of tapings. I think Noby Bryant, I believe, is going to be back. Will All Day will be back. I'm trying to remember now. Fly Delph, I believe, is scheduled to be back. So we're going to have a good crew there. There's no question about that. Also Crimson and Jax will be there. So we'll see what happens with that tag team situation when they show up. I understand that they have some words about how things went down in Carthage, and because they couldn't make it for personal reasons, and they're planning on making up for that in Canton. So we'll see what happens there. And there's Charlie Haas. I mean, oh, what can you say? He's out of his mind, man. He's just crazy, but he's so good, so good. And the kid, the young wrestler Frank Stone that he had their match with that night, hung in there with him and fought him, tooth and nail. And that's another guy, he's the guy that came up through our school, our classes and camps, and he's making a mark for himself. And I see Frank turning into a guy that, may be a contender one of these days. He's an athletic guy. He's big, and obviously he's catching on, because he hung in there with Charlie until he just couldn't anymore, and I was impressed with him.
Yeah, he has a lot of potential. I think he's been in AEW before as well.
Yes.
Couple matches. He also wrestled the Blood Hunter, I think, recently.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Had a good showing.
He may be mad at us now after having Blood Hunter one week and Charlie Haas the next. That may be a little tough on a young guy, but it shows that he's willing to get in there and fight.
He's got a lot of heart, so bright future for sure. Charlie Haas did a promo after the event, by the way. It's on the SWE Fury YouTube channel as well as mine, and he's a very serious guy, and he plans on defending that title and taking on all challengers. I wonder if he's going to fight anyone from outside, like possibly an ex-WWE name from outside SWE, maybe one of his old rivals. That would be
that's quite possible. Yeah, we're having people contact us about wanting a shot at Charlie, which I'm not sure how smart that is after I've seen what he's done the last few weeks. But yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of people coming in wanting to get a shot at him and that SWE Fury belt, because that's becoming very prestigious. You know, Tim Storm held it for almost 2 years and did a great job with it. Yeah, and then, you know, there's Charlie. I think he's going to be a guy that people want to take a shot at, and he's probably capable of taking care of himself pretty well. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, there's going to be some people coming in for sure that probably will surprise some of the people in watching SW Fury.
I also did an interview with Tim Storm that is posted on both of our YouTube channels, SWE and the Hannibal TV. He seems a little agitated about everything that's gone down with Charlie. He's still being as gentleman as always, but you can tell that he's not happy about everything that's been happening in recent months.
Yeah. I mean, we'll just have to see how that shakes out. Obviously, not happy about the way that match ended and the situation and you know, what can you say? I mean, I can understand how he feels, but I'm not sure what his you know, what his demeanor, what his future holds. You know, we'll see. You know, I hate that he feels that way, but we will see what happens.
Now, there was a professional photographer at the last event, and they put out this great graphic of some of the action from Saturday night.
Cool. Yeah,
we
very
see
cool.
Teal Piper's fiance, Damios, made his successful debut. Kevin Sullivan looking good as ever. Teal's on there. Charlie, we see Andrew Anderson, who's continuing his issue with Action Jackson, the bull rope. I don't know what's going on with the bull rope. And then, of course, Trevor Murdoch's on there with the NWA title and the Boogeyman. What a night that was.
Yeah, it was Boogeyman made his appearances a couple of times during the night, and he always stirs things up when he does. I mean, he's quite a character, man. I tell you, I steer clear of that because I don't want to be around those worms. But you know, he's a guy that especially Nigel Rabbit has to watch out for, and I think he's got kind of a dislike for Nigel, it seems, and you know Nigel might want to be sleeping with one eye open from now on. I think with Boogeyman out there.
Yeah, Nigel, his crew has gone up in recent months since Charlie Haas has joined his stable of wrestlers. Do you think it's going to continue? He's going to keep bringing in these big names to try and take over SWE Fury and win more championships?
Wouldn't surprise me. I'm a little surprised he hasn't looked at the women's division, but that sounds like something he might do. And you know, you got Andrew Anderson now, and Michael Schaefer, who Blood Hunter, you know, he and Blood Hunter had a knockdown drag out too. I mean, Michael's a big boy, and they had a war. And you know, he's a guy that's very impressive as well. We don't talk about him a lot, but you know, he's a guy that can make some noise in SWE Fury in the future. He's still a young guy too, but he's what, 350 pounds or so, and very athletic. I mean, he's doing moonsaults and that kind of thing, and you know, I would watch out for him. I know I talked to Mark Henry after the matches, and he was quite impressed with Michael Schaefer, and you know, that says a lot in itself.
He actually reminds me of Jerry Blackwell, but a more athletic version of Jerry Blackwell, because from what I understand, he's actually closer to 400 pounds.
That could be, yes.
Flips. I think he's 6'6", close to 400 pounds. The new Jerry Blackwell.
Yeah, he's very, very athletic. He got in appearance. He reminds me a little bit of One Man Gang and the old when Gang first came around with the long hair and everything. But he's a lot more athletic than Gang ever was. He's a guy that I think that may have a real future in this business if you know, if he keeps at it.
I agree with that. He does look like the one-man gang. And this will be the last question here because we're almost done for this week. We'll be back next week again at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Crotch Ripper wants to know, James, how are your eyes after the Lacey Von Erich live stream? I thought your live podcast.
I'm going to the eye doctor next week. I'll get that fixed. I've caught a lot of grief over that, but what are you going to do, man?
I think that was the most popular SWE Fury podcast we've done with Lacey. Hopefully she'll be back again one day, but it's still getting more and more views to this very day. So the fans love her. Really hope
Lacey is quite a character. I this kind of gets me because I knew her father very, very well. He was a good friend, and Kerry was one of the most playful guys I've ever been around. He was just always kind of glib about doing. He just got tickled real easy about doing things, and he'd always tickle himself. He'd do something he'd think is really funny and that kind of thing. And I see so much of him in her. I know she was very young when he passed away, but she sure inherited a lot of his traits, and that reminded me a lot of him when we were talking that night and also the other night in Carthage. She's something else. She's definitely a Kerry Von Erich clone.
And her kids are also like that as well. There's at least one of her kids that is 100% going to be a wrestler. I don't know if you saw him climbing up in the rafters.
I did. Yes. It's kind of like having a little cat around, just getting into everything. But that was Kerry too, man. He was the same way.
Yeah. And I'll just answer this one fan here that wants to see more Canadians in SWE Fury. It's a matter of the borders right now. They're very difficult to get across. I'm staying here in the US, but maybe in the future you will see more Canadian talent. They did bring in Davey Boy Smith Jr. for the last event, who is Canadian.
I would love to see that happen. I've got a lot of Canadian friends. In fact, I miss them a lot because I haven't been able to see them too much in the last year and a half, 2 years because of the COVID situation. And I usually get together with a bunch of them at Cauliflower Alley every year, and we have a big time. And there's a lot of great talent up there in Canada, and I would really like to see some of those guys come in here and get involved with us, and I'm sure you can probably help make some of that happen as well. But we want to reach out. We want to get the best of the best in here, and that would be a great thing to have happen. And by the way, speaking of Canadians, I know today's Bob Johnson's birthday, and I'd say hi to Bob. He's up there somewhere.
Yeah, Bob Johnson is up in the Calgary area. I know him very well. He actually, I actually promoted some events with him back when I first.
He did used to promote a lot up there. It sure did.
And one thing I'd like to see back when I am able to promote again in Calgary or in Canada, I should say, is some SWE Fury titles defended in Canada, which I do think might be possible if things ever open up down there. They're a long way from where Texas is at right now.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I think it'd be wonderful for SWE Fury to come to Canada and do some TV tapings up there. That'd be a great experience for everybody, and I would definitely look forward to something like that.
I think it'll definitely be possible, if not at the very end of this year, maybe in 2022. I know a lot of the office is interested in that. Well, thanks again, James, for the great weekend in Carthage. It was nice seeing you in person again, and nice seeing Casey and Christi and a lot of the great people involved with SWE. I really think it's a great crew that you guys have put together, and I'm looking forward to Canton, March the 20th.
Yeah, and I appreciate everything you're doing for us, and this is becoming a kind of a weekly thing that I'm looking forward to every week. You know, we've had different guests every week, and I'm looking forward to next week. I'm not sure who we'll have on then, but I'm sure somebody will step up and you know, man, I'm the same way. That was a great weekend in Carthage, and I'm looking forward to the next one. There's a lot of hard work in between now and then, and we're getting after it now. We're already planning for it.